Ethan stared at the faded photograph on his desk, the one where he and his twin brother, Dario, stood side by side at age 10, grinning identically under the Texas sun. But that was before everything shattered, before their parents discovered Ethan's secret and shipped him off to a distant aunt in California, while Dario remained the golden child, basking in their undivided love. Now, 15 years later, a lawyer's letter trembled in Ethan's hand, demanding his signature on a property deed to prevent the family home from foreclosure, a home he hadn't set foot in since the day they called him an abomination. The irony burned like acid in Ethan's throat. He paced his small San Francisco apartment, the city lights flickering through the window like mocking stars. Why me? He thought, his mind a whirlwind of resentment. They raised Dario with every ounce of pride, every holiday card featuring his achievements, while I was erased like a mistake. And now, because of some legal loophole from Grandpa's will, they need the signatures of both heirs? Ethan slumped onto the couch, his partner, Jordan, watching him with concerned eyes. Jordan, with his warm brown gaze and steady presence, had been Ethan's anchor for 3 years, the first person who made him feel truly seen. "You don't have to do this," Jordan said softly, sitting beside him and taking his hand. Ethan's fingers tightened around Jordan's, a silent plea for strength. But inside, the conflict raged. Sign and reopen old wounds, or refuse and let the house that symbolized his rejection crumble. The next morning, Ethan dialed the number on the letter, his voice steady despite the storm within. The lawyer, a brisk woman named Ms. Hargrove, explained the situation. Their parents' financial mismanagement had led to massive debts, and the house, willed jointly to the twins, required both signatures to refinance. "Your brother has already agreed," she added, as if that sealed the deal. Ethan hung up, his heart pounding. Dario agreed? Of course he did. He's always been the dutiful son. Memories flooded back. The whispered arguments behind closed doors when Ethan was 17, his father's red-faced fury upon finding a love letter from a boy at school, his mother's tearful insistence that it was just a phase that needed correction. They sent him away to Aunt Clara, who, though kind, could never fill the void of parental love. Ethan had built a life here, with Jordan, a graphic designer whose quiet humor balanced Ethan's intensity. But this letter dragged him back into the fray. Jordan suggested they take a walk along the Embarcadero, the salty bay air a temporary balm. As they strolled hand in hand, Ethan confessed his deepest fear. "What if I go back and they still see me as broken?" he murmured, his voice cracking. Jordan stopped, turning to face him. "Then you show them you're not." "But Ethan, this isn't about them. It's about you. Do you want to hold onto that bitterness forever?" Ethan's mind raced. He's right, but it's not that simple. That house holds ghosts. Nights I cried myself to sleep, wondering why I wasn't enough. Yet, a part of him yearned for closure, for Dario's familiar face, even if it meant confronting the family that discarded him. By evening, Ethan booked a flight to Dallas, Jordan by his side, the decision a knot of dread and defiance in his chest. Arriving at the airport, Ethan spotted Dario immediately. The same sharp jawline, the same hazel eyes, but Dario's carried a weariness Ethan didn't remember. They embraced awkwardly, Dario's hug lingering a second too long. "It's good to see you, bro," Dario said, his voice thick. In the car ride to the house, silence hung heavy until Dario broke it. "Mom and Dad, they're not the same. Dad's health is failing, and Mom's barely holding it together." Ethan nodded, but inside, anger simmered. Not the same. They never apologized, never reached out. Pulling up to the familiar ranch-style home, Ethan's stomach twisted. His mother opened the door, her face lined with age, eyes widening at the sight of Jordan. "Who's this?" she asked, her tone polite but edged. "My partner," Ethan replied firmly, watching her flinch. Dinner was tense, small talk skirting the elephant in the room. Ethan's father, frail in his armchair, muttered about family duty. Duty? Ethan thought bitterly. Where was their duty to me? That night, lying beside Jordan in the guest room, his old bedroom, stripped of any trace of him, Ethan's thoughts spiraled. Why does this hurt so much? I thought I'd moved on, built my own family with Jordan. But seeing them, it's like I'm 17 again, begging for acceptance. Jordan whispered, "You're stronger than this. Whatever you decide, I'm here." The next day brought the confrontation. At the kitchen table, papers spread out, his parents pleaded. "We need this, Ethan. For the family." His mother's eyes brimmed with tears. Ethan hesitated, pen in hand. Sign it and walk away, or force them to face what they did. Dario pulled him aside. "I know what they did was wrong. I tried to stop them, but I was scared too." For the first time, Ethan saw cracks in Dario's perfect facade. The twin who got the love, but at what cost? As the sun set, Ethan demanded answers. "Why me? Why send me away like I was diseased?" His father's voice shook. "We thought we were protecting you, from yourself, from the world." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Protecting? You destroyed me." His mother sobbed. "We were wrong, but please, don't let the house go." Inside, Ethan's resolve wavered. Forgive for my sake, or hold the line? Jordan's steady gaze reminded him of the life they'd built, free from judgment. Yet the pull of blood ties gnawed at him. The following morning, tension thickened like fog over the Dallas suburbs. Ethan woke to the sound of his mother's muffled cries from downstairs, a sound that pierced deeper than any accusation. Why does her pain affect me? After all they did, why can't I just sign and leave? Jordan stirred beside him, his hand finding Ethan's in the dim light. "Today we decide," Jordan said quietly, his voice a lifeline. Breakfast was silent, save for the clink of silverware. Dario avoided eye contact, his usual confidence eroded. When Ms. Hargrove arrived with the documents, the room felt like a courtroom, each family member a reluctant witness. Ethan's father cleared his throat, his once booming voice now a rasp. "Son, we know we hurt you, but time heals, right? Let's put this behind us." Ethan met his gaze, the words igniting a fire within. Time heals? It scarred me, made me question my worth every day until Jordan showed me otherwise. He glanced at Jordan, who nodded subtly, encouraging him to speak his truth. "You didn't just hurt me," Ethan said, his voice steady but laced with emotion. "You chose Dario because he fit your mold, straight, successful, the son you could brag about at church. Me? I was the shame you hid." His mother reached out, but he pulled back. "We were scared," she whispered. "The community, the judgment." Ethan shook his head. "Scared? I was terrified, alone in a new state, rebuilding from nothing." Dario finally spoke, his words tumbling out. "I envied you, Ethan. You got out, lived authentically. I stayed, played the part. Married young, kids, the whole package. But it's hollow." Ethan's eyes widened. This was new, a revelation cracking the twin bond wider. He envied me, while I resented him for the love I craved. The lawyer shifted uncomfortably, but Ethan pressed on. "Then why didn't you fight for me?" Dario hung his head. "I was weak, but now, with the house, it's all we have left." The plea hung in the air, heavy with unspoken regrets. As the day wore on, Ethan and Jordan escaped to the backyard, the same spot from the old photo. Jordan held him close. "This is tearing you apart. What do you need?" Ethan leaned into him, tears stinging. "I need closure, but at what price? Signing means validating their actions. Refusing means destroying what's left of our family." Back inside, the arguments escalated. His father accused him of pettiness. His mother begged for mercy. Ethan felt the walls closing in, his heart a battlefield of forgiveness and fury. By afternoon, a family friend dropped by, an old pastor who had counseled his parents back then. The man eyed Jordan with disdain, muttering about traditional values. Ethan's blood boiled. "This is why you sent me away? Because of people like him." The pastor defended. "We were guiding you." Ethan exploded. "Guiding? You condemned me." Jordan stepped in, his calm voice cutting through. "Ethan's life is his own. Your guidance nearly broke him." The room fell silent, the weight of years crashing down. That evening, alone with Dario, Ethan learned more. Their parents' debts stemmed from bad investments, but also from funding Dario's perfect life, college, wedding, house down payment. They overextended for me, Dario admitted, guilt etching his face. Ethan felt a pang of pity. All this favoritism, and it trapped him too. But pity warred with resentment. Why should I save them when they didn't save me? As night fell, Ethan lay awake, Jordan's breathing a rhythmic comfort. Tomorrow I choose, but every option feels like loss. The emotional toll mounted, each revelation peeling back layers of pain he thought buried. Dawn broke with a relentless clarity, illuminating the fractures in Ethan's soul. He slipped out of bed early, leaving Jordan asleep, and wandered the house like a ghost revisiting haunts. In the living room, he found his mother clutching a photo album, tears streaming. "I kept these," she said, opening to pages of him as a child, birthdays, soccer games, before the exile. Ethan's chest tightened. She kept them? Why, if I was so disposable? He sat beside her, the proximity both comfort and torment. "Why show me now?" he asked, voice raw. She sobbed. "Because I regret it every day. We listened to the wrong voices, church, friends. We thought we were saving your soul." The confession hit like a wave, drowning Ethan in conflicting emotions. Regret? Too late for that to mend the years I spent feeling unlovable. Yet, seeing her vulnerability, a crack formed in his armor. His father joined them, wheelchair-bound, his pride stripped away. "I was wrong, son. Fear made me a fool." Ethan searched his eyes for sincerity, finding flickers amid the frailty. Is this real, or just desperation to save the house? The internal struggle intensified, forgiveness tantalizingly close yet poisoned by betrayal. Dario appeared, suggesting a family meeting without the lawyer. Around the table, truths spilled like overdue confessions. Dario revealed his own doubts. "I've questioned everything since you left. My marriage, the strained. I see how you and Jordan are real, honest, and I wonder if I settled." Ethan stared, the revelation shaking him. My flawed life inspires him, while his perfect one crumbles. Jordan, ever the mediator, encouraged openness. Families evolve, but only if everyone owns their part. The discussion turned heated when past prejudices resurfaced. His mother admitted pressuring Dario to be the man of the house, while shunning Ethan. "We favored him because he was safe," she said. Ethan recoiled. Safe? Meaning not gay. Anger surged, but so did empathy for Dario, burdened by expectations. We're both victims of their narrow world. His father shared stories of his own rigid upbringing, hinting at suppressed truths. "Maybe I was fighting my demons through you." The words hung, heavy with implication, deepening Ethan's turmoil. Was he projecting? Does that excuse anything? By midday, Ms. Hargrove returned, papers in hand. The pressure peaked: sign or walk away. Ethan's mind raced. If I refuse, the house sells, they lose everything. But signing feels like absolution they don't deserve. Jordan pulled him aside. "Think about us, our future. Holding grudges poisons that." Ethan's heart ached with love for him, a stark contrast to his family's conditional affection. Afternoon brought unexpected visitors. Neighbors who remembered the twins. One, an old teacher, praised Ethan's resilience. "You thrived despite it all." The validation stirred something in Ethan. Pride in his journey, from outcast to self-made man with Jordan. But it also highlighted the injustice. Why celebrate me now when they stood by silently then? As evening approached, Ethan confronted Dario privately. "Did you ever miss me?" Dario's eyes welled. "Every day. You're my other half." The twin bond, frayed but unbroken, tugged at Ethan's resolve. Forgive for him, if not for them? The emotional layers piled on, each more suffocating than the last. Night descended, and Ethan sat with Jordan on the porch, stars overhead. "I love you," Jordan said. "No matter what." Ethan nodded, but inside, the decision loomed like a precipice, his soul teetering on the edge. The weight of unspoken words pressed heavier as the fourth day dawned, Ethan's nerves frayed to breaking. He found his father alone in the study, poring over old letters, some from Ethan during his early exile, pleas for understanding that went unanswered. "I read them all," his father admitted, voice breaking, but pride stopped me from replying. Ethan froze, the revelation a dagger to his heart. He read them, knew my pain, and did nothing? Rage boiled over. Pride? That's your excuse for abandoning your son? His father's tears fell freely. "I was ashamed of myself for failing you." The admission cracked Ethan's defenses wider, flooding him with a torrent of grief. "Ashamed? Join the club. I spent years ashamed of who I am because of you." His mother entered, sensing the storm. "We've changed, Ethan. Seeing you with Jordan, it's opened our eyes." Ethan glanced at Jordan in the doorway, his partner's presence a beacon amid the chaos. But doubt gnawed. Changed? Or convenient now that they need me? The internal battle raged fiercer, forgiveness warring with self-preservation. Dario proposed a walk to their childhood park, hoping nostalgia might heal. As they strolled, Dario confessed deeper. "I came out to my wife last year I think, but I suppressed it, like they taught us." Ethan's world tilted. "My twin, hiding too? All this time we suffered in parallel?" Empathy surged, but so did betrayal. "Why didn't you tell me? We could have supported each other." Dario shrugged, defeated. Fear. Same as them. The parallel lives, mirrored yet divergent, amplified Ethan's anguish. "If I sign, am I enabling more suppression?" Back home, the family gathered for what felt like a last supper. Tensions exploded when his mother suggested therapy. "We can fix this." Ethan slammed his fist. "Fix? I'm not broken. You are, for valuing a house over your son." Jordan calmed him, but the outburst left everyone raw. His father wheezed, "Please, Ethan, give us a chance to make amends." The plea echoed in Ethan's mind, a siren call to reconciliation. A chance? After 15 years? But what if it's genuine? Afternoon brought a call from Aunt Clara, her voice warm. "They've mentioned you more lately, with regret." The external perspective stirred hope, but also suspicion. Regret now when stakes are high. Jordan urged reflection. "You've built a beautiful life. Don't let this undo it." Ethan's love for him swelled, a counterweight to the familial pull. Yet, the conflict intensified, each moment layering more emotional debris. By evening, alone in the guest room, Ethan journaled his thoughts, tears blotting the page. Sign and risk betrayal again, or refuse and carry the guilt of their ruin? Jordan deserves better than this haunted version of me. Dario knocked, sharing a beer like old times. "I need you, bro. Not just for the house, for us." The brotherly plea pierced deepest, rekindling lost connection. As midnight neared, Ethan lay beside Jordan, whispers of doubt filling the dark. "What if forgiving them frees me?" Jordan held him. "Only you know." The emotional crescendo built, leaving Ethan on the brink of shattering. The final morning arrived like a reckoning, the air thick with unresolved agony. Ethan stood in the kitchen, coffee untouched, as his family assembled one last time. Ms. Hargrove waited patiently, but Ethan's hand hovered over the pen, his mind a maelstrom. This signature, it's more than ink. It's absolution or condemnation. His mother's eyes, red-rimmed, begged silently. His father, barely audible, murmured, "We love you, son. Always have." The words, long withheld, struck like thunder. Love? Where was it when I needed it most? Tears streamed down Ethan's face, the dam breaking after years of restraint. Dario placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're family, flaws and all." Ethan met his twin's gaze, seeing his own pain reflected. "Flaws? Mine was loving differently. Theirs was hating for it." Jordan, ever steadfast, whispered, "Choose for your peace." The room held its breath as Ethan grappled, the weight crushing. "Refuse and they lose the house, symbol of my rejection but also their life. Sign and perhaps bridge the chasm, but at the cost of my dignity?" Memories assaulted him. The day he left, suitcase in hand, no goodbyes. The lonely nights in California, forging identity amid isolation. Meeting Jordan, whose love rebuilt him piece by piece. I've survived without them, but can I thrive with this unfinished wound? His mother's sob broke the silence. Please, Ethan, let us try. The vulnerability, raw and real, tugged at his heartstrings, amplifying the torment. In a flash, Ethan signed, the pen scratching like a final judgment. Relief washed over his parents' faces, but Ethan's was stoic. This isn't forgiveness, he said, voice trembling. It's closure for me. Dario hugged him fiercely, whispering thanks. His father nodded gratefully, his mother clutching his hand. But inside, Ethan questioned, did I betray myself, or reclaim power by choosing mercy? As they prepared to leave, Jordan pulled him close. You did what felt right. Ethan nodded, but doubt lingered, a shadow on his soul. The drive to the airport was silent, reflections swirling. Family ties bind, but they can strangle too. Have I loosened the noose, or tightened it? Back in San Francisco, life resumed, but the echoes persisted. Ethan and Jordan grew closer, their bond fortified by the ordeal. Yet, late nights found Ethan pondering the cost of blood versus chosen love. Was Ethan's decision to sign the deed an act of true strength, or a surrender to familial manipulation?